Welcome back, Don.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
Did the cancer diagnosis come as a total shock to you?
A total shock. I knew I had a bump on my neck. Went to my GP. He felt it, moved it around, said, it's nothing. Don't even worry yourself about it. If and when you have an MRI, have them do your neck also. Mistake on his part. And fortunately, I had an executive physical planned at Mayo Clinic a month and a half after that date. And do MRIs and CAT scans up there on a pretty normal basis on somebody my age, because you have a little this going on or a little that going on. But an ear, nose, throat specialist is who dug in the back of my throat and said, you have squamous cell carcinoma.
How does one react when you're told you've got cancer?
Well, it doesn't, at least it didn't hit me at that moment. Okay, I got squamous cell carcinoma. I'm going to go home and figure out what we're going to do, and Thanksgiving is coming up and that kind of stuff. And the doctor verbally at that time wasn't as impactful as his write-up that I got via email looking at my records. That's when it really woke me up of what I had, and I needed to get back up there and I needed to get things taken care of. I can't even say at that point the cancer thing hit me the way I assumed it hit people. Got back up there, had a CAT scan, a PET scan. They thought it was stage 1, but it ended up being stage 3, 4 once they took the lymph node out of my neck. And this kind of cancer, stage 3 or 4, is very different than stage 4 of any other kind of cancer. For whatever reason, the neck and base of tongue cancer is more treatable than a lot of other cancers at that stage. The impact of the treatments is tremendous. It changes the quality of your life. It changes your life tremendously. But I can't say that I even was impacted by cancer until being a few weeks in my radiation treatment. I'd say the end of January, the 1st of February is when that started to impact me and impacted me emotionally, and had some real dark days through the treatment and such. But that's really when the cancer thing kind of comes home.
Was there a point in time that you just said, I can't do this anymore?
Not really, but the support that I received from family, friends, teammates, and spectators around the sport of NHRA was able to carry me through those dark times. There was never a time that I said to myself, I can't do this anymore. There were some miserable times that said, boy, I don't want to do this. But I tend to be somebody that deals with things, and if there would have been that time, I would have found some way to deal with it, some way to do something else. So it was never to that point that I can't deal with this. Because in talking to some friends and such, and some people that had gone through the same kind of cancer, as you get involved in it, as the person being treated for it, you have to make a decision. You're going to live or die. I think that's a pretty easy decision. I'm going to live. So get on with it. That's the way I looked at it, and that's the way I dealt with it. Unfortunately, I talked to a man that I had never met, and I still haven't met him. And I met him through the Infinite Hero Foundation, a guy that had been treated for tongue cancer and lymph node in the neck also. And he was treated down at MD Anderson, and he's really the one that gave me, gotta make a decision, you're gonna live or die. And once you focus on that, it changes your whole feelings at that time. At least it changed mine at that time. It really impacted me and allowed me to step out of that woe is me situation.
When you rang the bell, you were finally done with this battle. What emotions ran through you that you said, I won?
Ringing the bell is just something that they do. Once you have cancer, you are never through with it. It is in your mind every second of every day. It haunts you. It's a terrible, terrible disease. It's very, very hard on you, mentally and emotionally. And until you have cancer, you really don't understand that. Because you say, oh, okay, you got through the treatment and now you can just go on with your life. I wish it was that way. And I wish nobody ever had to experience cancer. Because once you have it, it's at the tip of your mind, right out front, every second of your life.
How tough was it seeing your family during this?
That's the hardest part. I mean, what I put my kids, especially Megan being the youngest, and what I put Sarah through. I apologize to them constantly. It wasn't a disease I brought on myself. I believe everybody has cancer running through their body, and it's just when that cell starts to mutate, which isn't in your control. But me coming down with this disease tremendously impacted all four of my children, and certainly my wife tremendously, and I know my friends and teammates and everybody else. It was a very, very humbling situation, and what I did to them, all I can do is apologize to them yesterday and today and tomorrow, because it continues to impact them.
You know, they'd never leave you.
I know that. I mean, it's a very, very difficult time as you're going through this whole thing, because you're not your normal person. You're not going to be your normal person as you're going through it. And not sure if I'm back to being Don as of yet, to be real honest.
How did this experience change Don Schumacher?
Many ways, yeah. You love a lot more people a lot deeper. You want to enjoy life more than work at life. All of those ways that you can reach out and enjoy and take care of things. I'm a businessman. I'll always be a businessman, even through this treatment and through having cancer. But the almighty dollar doesn't mean as much to me any longer. And that comes with being 70 years old and everything else, but cancer certainly changed me in that vein, and taking care of the people around me is a lot more important today than it was prior to my cancer.
You ever heard the song by Tim McGraw,
Sure.
Live Like You Were Dying?
That's right. Yep.
How many times did that song play through your head?
Plays through my head every day.
You're not going to ride a bull named Fu Manchu, are you?
If I chose to, I would. I'd have no problem with doing that, jumping out of an airplane or any of those things. If that's what I wanted to do, and that really brought a piece of pleasure to my life for however long I'm going to be on this earth for, I'd be going for it. I'm that kind of person.
If a friend is diagnosed like you were, and you know the battle that's ahead of her, what do you tell them?
Make the decision as early as you can that you're going to live or die. And I think the decision is very easy. It's going to be tough. There's going to be some real tough, dark days. But you'll get through it. And that's one thing that all of the doctors said and all of the nurses is, you'll get through this. It's going to be tough. And each person's body reacts differently to these treatments. And I really believe here in the next 5 years, they're going to have a remarkable change in the way they treat this disease. Not just my type of cancer, but all kinds of cancers. And I really look forward to the medical industry accomplishing that, because it's kind of a barbaric treatment today still.